Our next segment we got here on the show today, we're talking bold predictions for the 2025 season. This was your idea, so I'm gonna let you start us off. Yes. What is your first? I don't know. Like I know Josh Pate does like a ranking at 1 out of 10 for bold predictions. I don't know if we want to judge each other or we'll see what it is.
You yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah, you do that.
You gonna do that? Okay.
Not like 1 to 10, 10 being the most like whoa, and 1 being the most like, dude, that's not that hot of a take. So
okay, yeah, that's fair.
So my first bold prediction for the season is one that I've admittedly seen a lot of other people say. This is not something that I just woke up and thought on my own and now I'm bringing it here to y'all. No, a lot of you might have heard a lot of other people have been saying this since January, but I still think it counts because it hasn't happened since 2002. And that is that there will be a 1,000-yard receiver on this Georgia team. And his name will be Zachariah Branch.
Wow. I'll be honest. One thing we've talked about, I may have talked about on this show or on the Chase Thomas podcast I do with my buddy Chase Thomas. A lot gets made about the 1,000-yard receiver thing. No, I don't think people know how many 900-yard receivers we've had in the last like 20 years. Like there's like a bunch of 900-yard receivers, but we can't get to that 1,000-yard mark. I was like, we are passing the ball down here.
Has anyone even had 900 since like Tavares King? Did Brock Bowers do it? Brock Bowers had 900?
I would have said Bowers had a 900-yard.
Bowers might have had like 890.
Let me see here. I know Tavares King had one. I think AJ Green had 2 900-yard seasons, if not 3 900-yard seasons. Yeah, Bowers had 942, 880 as a sophomore, and 882 as a freshman, and then 714 missing like 4 or 5 games.
So he probably would have had it his junior year if he didn't.
He would have been like, I think George Pickens had probably an 800 or 9. Did he have a 900-yard season?
Well, Pickens really only had one full season healthy, and it was his freshman year when the passing game sucked.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that was his best year. It was 720. I forgot. Yeah, he missed all of 2021. So yeah, 727 was the best year he ever had. So yeah, I think even that's been a while. I think Fred Gibson and Reggie Brown have both had some 900. I think Massaquoi had a 900-yard season.
He probably did, yeah.
Because I think AJ Green and Massaquoi had almost identical numbers. Massaquoi's senior year and AJ Green's freshman year. AJ
never did it. I know it's because AJ Green had Joe Cox throwing him the ball, but like that's still insane that never happened.
Yeah, that is. Massaquoi 58 for 920. In
Shout out to Muhammad Massaquoi, man, underrated.
Oh yeah, they do say it Massaquoi. I said Massaquoi when he was being recruited, and I don't think I ever changed.
Never kicked the habit.
But yeah, AJ Green 963 and Massaquoi 920 in 2008. Both had almost identical. I didn't realize how identical. Yeah, 56 catches to 58 catches, and they both had 8 touchdowns. Like almost identical seasons. Massaquoi's senior year to AJ's freshman year. But we've got a little off topic there, as we're one to do. I give that an 8 or maybe even a 9 because we don't do that. We don't have 1,000-yard receivers here. So I'm going to give it a 9. I think it's bold. Especially 2 guys we've never seen play in a Georgia uniform, and then one who I'm saying Colby Young is the next candidate ahead of Dylan Bell. The fact that we have so many candidates, I think also kind of might hurt it. Yeah. But I think the 2 are probably Noah Thomas and Zachariah Branch. The most people would apply this to.
I really just think the only one with a realistic shot at it is Branch. I think he has a perfect situation in terms of like he's in the slot. They're going to need to get him the ball. And he's also got way more of a big play ability than the guy that was in the slot for them last year, Dominic Lovett.
Yeah.
I can see it all coming together. But if Gunnar Stockton just turns out to be bad, then he probably won't get 1,000 yards, but we'll see. Because Zachariah Branch's career high in yards is like not even 600. So I am asking him to take quite the leap in terms of production.
Okay, so I'll give that a 9, and I'll feed off of your hot take with one of my own. Bold prediction of my own, I should say. And because I thought you might go the direction you went, what I think most people don't realize, Georgia's has gone on 5 consecutive seasons without a 1,000-yard rusher. And I'm saying Georgia has a 1,000-yard rusher in 2025. Okay. Is that a hot take?
No, I don't think so. Well, you know what? I think you have to kind of say it is, just because, like, I assume the guy that you say is going to do it is coming off of like 660 yards. But I don't. I mean, elaborate.
Is
I don't
that
think
all?
it's ridiculous.
660?
Frazier? Yeah. I don't think
man.
Frazier didn't even have 700 as a freshman.
Yeah, you got to go back to DeAndre Swift in 2019. I mean, and in 2019, you're coming off of 2 consecutive seasons of having 2,000 yards.
I was going to say Georgia, because Holyfield had.
Holyfield and Swift in 2018, and then I mean Chubb and Michelle were just absurd in 2017. It's like 1,200 yard rushers. I think Chubb's like 1,400, and
I don't
Michelle's
even know
like
how that happened.
Just an insane production that year. But yeah, I think Nate Frazier is going to kind of, maybe it's a situation of he has 1,010 yards and Josh McCray has 950 yards. And, you know, there's not a true number one. Georgia's just running it a lot better this year. So I don't know. I'm not necessarily predicting Georgia's going to have like a great rushing offense or whatever, or necessarily that Frazier is going to separate himself from the pack. But I think we're going to have 1,000-yard rusher. I think obviously, I guess I'm obviously predicting something. I'm predicting the offense. The rushing offense is clearly better than it was a year ago to have 1,000-yard rusher. But yeah, I think Nate Frazier is the only real option to do this. Personally, I think he's just going to come into his own. I'm going to see a big jump from year 1 to year 2.
Yeah, I agree with the take that Frazier is probably the only one that's like going to do it. But I do think the likelihood of him doing it is pretty high. So I'll go with like a 6 for that hotness.
Okay.
I also do think Frazier is gonna really take a leap. Okay, so my next take is one that I hope I'm wrong about, but
go negative already.
It's another streak being ended. And it is that Georgia's 31 game home winning streak will come to an end in 2025. I just think Georgia welcoming Ole Miss, Alabama, and Texas to Sanford is like, I mean, man, that's about as hard of a home schedule that you can get. And if they go undefeated in all 3 of those games, then more power to them. They're insane for that. But I really think that there's just no way they go 3-0 in those games, right? They got to drop one of them.
Yeah, this is perfect. We didn't even plan this, sir. I personally rank that a 3 out of 10 because I think most people think Georgia can't possibly go undefeated at home with this home schedule this year, right? Don't you think that's more the common opinion? That's why my bold prediction.
They've got this streak that's lasted like 5 years.
That is true. That's why my bold prediction is that Georgia does go undefeated at home. Gets this winning streak. I thought it was at 32. You said 31. I'm questioning it.
And it's at 31 when I looked it up today.
Okay, so I think that would make it 38 straight if they can get through this season, and that would be tied for the 9th longest home winning streak in college football history. The longest of the 21st century, though. The longest one is 58 games. Any idea who did that?
Oklahoma,
Miami. 1985 to 1994.
I guess it was going to be Minnesota because I was going to.
The three-peat,
like the 40s,
yeah. So Miami 58 games. That's Georgia's a long way from that. Basically halfway, just over halfway to that. But what would you rank the hot take that they're going to?
Dude, that's pretty.
Stay unbeaten.
The take that they're going to beat Texas, Ole Miss, and Alabama, I'd have that at like a 9. Like it's not impossible just because Georgia's really good, but like. All 3 of those teams, man, like you're going to be healthy against all those teams. You're going to beat all of them. You're going to avoid a rough start or a poorly timed turnover or whatever in all of them. Plus, Texas would like nothing more than to beat you. You already know Lane Kiffin hates you and wants to beat you more than anything. And you always lose to Bama. So it's like we're gonna beat all 3 of those teams. I don't know.
The Lane Kiffin thing is new. That's just a 1-year blip. Well, that's not a trend yet.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm not saying Lane Kiffin is Georgia's daddy or anything, because he's not. But I mean, I saw with my own two eyes Lane Kiffin dismantle Georgia last year. I know he can do it.
No, that's fair.
Again, that's definitely, of those three, that's definitely the game that I'm the least worried about. But it doesn't mean I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And when we're doing this bold prediction segment, folks, just ignore whatever our predictions were a week ago. These don't have to be consistent. Yeah. It's not important what we actually predicted in our game by game predictions. But what's your next one, Bo?
My next one is that the most impactful true freshman on the team next year will be CJ Wiley.
Ooh, that is.
Because I can't. I wish I could provide some crazy analysis on why, but I really can't. Other than I just think he's got that dog in him, man. I mean, he's got all the size in the world that you could want at like 6'4", 215. He's just an athletic freak. Makes highlight reel catches in practice. Made a highlight reel catch on the G-Day game, and I just think that one of these freshman receivers is going to break out. I think receiver is like, obviously, Georgia runs a super complicated passing offense, and like it's hard to get on the field as a true freshman receiver. But like once you do, there's a lot of room and a lot of ways that you can make an impact. And I just think that one of these freshmen will at that position. I think it's going to be CJ Wiley.
Yeah, that would be massive if it is CJ Wiley, because I don't think a lot of people are expecting that. And I just think if he does make an impact on this team, like I think this receiving group is even more loaded than we thought.
I mean, dude, if he even looks at the ball, he's got a chance at catching it. He's got the craziest like catch radius of just about. I mean, since like you'd have to go back to like George Pickens for me to see a Georgia freshman that can just pluck the ball out of the air like that. I think that there's probably Georgia guys in this class that are going to end up having better 4-year careers than him, like, the Elijah Griffins and Juan Gastons of the world. But year one, I think it might be Wiley, unless Gaston starts right away and he's a freshman All-American, which could happen.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? It would go a long way in your newcomer draft. That I think think I ultimately won that draft. I was trying to pull it up here.
What do you mean you won it? They haven't played any games yet.
Here, can I?
What if all your guys suck and all mine do really well?
Let me see if I can pull it up for the good folks here. No, maybe not. It's great radio. It's coming.
It's pretty far. Oh, wait. I just saw it. You just had it.
There we go. Let me pull it up here. This is it right here, sir. If CJ Wiley, which this is a really fun topic we did a few weeks ago, but if CJ Wiley turns out to be our best freshman, I think that goes a long way in you winning this. Because I should say, impact. This is impact newcomer. Because I think the first one was he the second. Elijah Griffin was the first freshman that was drafted. Oh, and then I took Juan Gaston.
I picked Elijah Griffin first, but then I freaked out about how freshman edge rushers never get on the field, and freshman receivers kind of do.
Yeah. I was surprised Taylon Taylor was not the one that we ended up picking, and Bo Walker and Juan Gaston, the two freshmen I ended up with. So we'll see. This will be fun. We'll revisit it for sure and see. I have no idea what our criteria is. It's just it'll be vibes based. We'll know who had a bigger impact. But hopefully Juan Gaston, from what it sounds like, Juan Gaston's gonna be that guy at the right guard position to open the season. So, but obviously that's a speculation. Kirby's not giving us that information because Kirby doesn't give us any information.
None.
But my next hot take, sir, is another streak. We've talked about the 2,000-yard rusher streaks at 1,000-yard rusher and 1,000-yard receiver. There's another one that Georgia needs to snap. My hot take is that Georgia's going to have a 10-sack guy in 2025. Ooh. And do you know the last time Georgia had a 10-sack guy? I feel like 10 sack, double digit sack guy.
Was it like Richard Seymour, man?
Oh, you don't have to go back. Oh man, are you forgetting about the 3-time All-American David Pollock, sir? You don't have to go back that far.
Yes, I am. I am forgetting about David Pollock.
No, it's not. You know what? You don't have to go quite back that far.
Is Pollock the last one?
No, Pollock was not the last one. Pollock was the Pollock was like in the middle of a streak. We had like several consecutive seasons of double-digit sack guys.
They don't have them anymore because they rotate so much.
No, I think of the Kirby era. I was looking it up. I think it's Azeez Ojulari with like 8.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I think, although I think it was either 7.5 or 8.5, and I think it was in 2020. So it's like he would have been a double-digit sack guy. Yeah, Adam Anderson in 2021, I think had like 6 or 7 sacks in 6 games before his issues that removed him from the team. But yeah, there was a crazy streak. I'll go all the way to the streak. Pollock had 3 in a row in 02, 03, 04. And Quentin Moses had double-digit in 05. Charles Johnson in 06. Marcus Howard in 07. And then Justin Houston in 2010.
Justin Houston's the last guy to do it?
It is not. The last one, I was just teasing you. 2011 and 2012 was the last guy. I did it twice. That would be Jarvis Jones.
I forgot all about Jarvis Jones.
Yeah, Jarvis Jones, man. Top 10 Heisman finalist.
Do you have a pick for who it will be this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think the only candidate to me is Elo Mendoza. I think he's got maybe I'm putting too much on the transfer from Army. He's coming off 8.5 sacks or something, I think, a year ago at Army.
He had like 4.5, I thought.
Are you sure about that?
Maybe 6.5. Maybe
I thought, oh man, this is a really hot take that I think this streak might continue. If it was, I was thinking he was closer to double digits than that a year ago. 6.5. So yeah, split the difference.
Well, his website says he had 6.5. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yes, maybe split the difference. It would be taking a little bit of a jump, go 6.5 to double digits, but Georgia's gonna play 16 games to win a national championship. So we'll see.
You'd be banking on that, and
I think that would have to be part of it, probably.
This isn't a bad year to predict a 10 sack guy, just because Georgia doesn't have the ridiculous amount of depth on the edge that we've become used to. So Mendoza, there's a high chance that he plays a much higher share of snaps than like the typical starting edge rusher would at Georgia, just because they're going to need him to, like we've heard that they're trying Chris Jones out there, and we know that they like Quintavious Johnson, and we know that they have like 3 true freshmen there that they like, but like really it's a lot of it is going to fall on Mendoza and fall on Gabe Harris, and the higher upside guy there for my money, I'd probably lean towards Mendoza still. I just, Gabe Harris has been a rotational guy for the last couple of years here, and he's made some plays when he's gotten on the field, but Mendoza being a bit more of like the unknown at that position, yeah, I feel like you could bank on him a little bit more. I don't think either of them is going to have 10 sacks. I just don't. But if you asked me who would be more likely between Harris and Mendoza, I'd probably go with Mendoza.
I will reserve the right to count this regardless of what player does it. I'm just calling it a double. There's a double-digit sack guy.
I'll give you that.
I think the number one candidate, though, I would definitely say is Mendoza. But yeah, who knows? Maybe it's Chris Cole, and he's just some sort of one-man wrecking crew, and he's the best player I've ever seen. And he lives up to all the hype and dreams that me and you have. But let's not put that on Chris Cole just yet. But
we will never want to do that.
But so what's your ranking on a double-digit sack guy? What is that, 1 through 10?
I think that's pretty high. I'd go 10 for that. I don't see that happening, man. 10 sacks is a lot. Like that's in this day and age of college football, like you get 10 sacks, you're a beast. You get 10 sacks in the SEC, you're going in round 1. Does Georgia have a first-round pass rusher on the team? I don't think they do. I think they had 2.
They do if they have a guy who gets 10 sacks.
They had 2 last year, and neither of them sniffed it. So
that's fair. Jalen Walker had like 8 sacks
Yeah. He
7
didn't.
sacks?
Okay, so maybe he sniffed it, but he didn't.
He
He didn't.
sniffed it. That's all
Didn't
I
clear
think I
it.
was arguing.
Didn't clear it though. I mean,
He
and
didn't know.
Georgia.
And it
We're talking about a school that has had literally the first overall pick on the edge, and he didn't get 10 sacks as a Bulldog ever in a season. So I just
yeah.
don't think I don't think it's happening. I think
No, that's fair.
if there's any position or if there's any like statistical achievement individual for a position that you can point at and be like, Georgia just doesn't do that, whether it's 1,000 yards rushing, 1,000 yards receiver. I think 10 sacks is kind of what I would have as like the top of the list. Just that's such a big part of their defensive philosophy to me is like rotating that much.
No, that's true. And I think that's a reason it hasn't been done in recent years. But I think you kind of nailed where my logic was that for one, I think it's going to be a lot like last year of like, we're going to be a lot of 4-quarter games that the reserves are not going to be playing, just getting snaps at the end of garbage time at the end of games. But also, I don't know that Georgia's got the bodies, the high quality bodies to rotate like they want to most years.
Yeah, especially
but
not compared to years past.
Yeah, for sure. So, what was your last one? The previous one you said? I don't know if I give that a rating.
Oh, the CJ Wiley one.
Oh, that's the 10.
That one was
I'm
ridiculous.
definitely gonna give that one a 10.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Okay.
Because honestly, I wasn't even thinking about Gaston when I said it. So I like most impactful true freshman. I do think will be Gaston. Now that I'm remembering that he's gonna like start.
Yeah.
But coolest one that will get the most clicks on social media, I think, will be CJ Wiley because offensive linemen don't go viral, unfortunately.
That's fair. That's the unfortunate truth. What's your next one?
My next one is, and this is the last one that I really want to like say with my chest because the last one.
Here, let me do mine first because I'm not as proud of mine. So let me we'll end on the strong one. Mine is that Georgia will not beat Tennessee by multiple scores. And before you say that's easy, Georgia's won 8 straight games over Tennessee by multiple scores, an average of 25 points per game in margin of victory in the last 8 versus Tennessee. So what do you rank that between 1 and 10?
I mean, I'd have to go back. I think when we did our score predictions for each game last week, I think I had us beating Tennessee by 2 scores, but it was like barely 2 scores. It wasn't, a comfortable win. But I don't think that's that ridiculous to say either. I kind of agree with you that Tennessee is going to be a big struggle of a game this year. It's at a premium time in the schedule. It's literally the first conference game of the season for Georgia. It's Gunnar Stockton's first true road start in a hostile environment. And maybe I'd say if it's not the hardest hostile environment to play in at its peak, it's in the top 5. Like as much as Georgia, yeah, like we're happy to go over how much of a easy time it's been for Georgia playing Tennessee in recent years, but generally speaking, man, like it sucks to play there, and it's gonna be really hard. And this Georgia team, more than anyone that we've maybe ever seen under Kirby Smart, is young. It's inexperienced. It's just got a lot of question marks. And those are the kinds of teams that go on the road and get caught unprepared, get caught slipping early. So I do agree. I think Georgia's going to beat Tennessee just because for all the question marks and shenanigans that Georgia's had this offseason, God, Tennessee's had it way worse. But I do think it's going to be a game that many people will still be interested in the fourth quarter. I don't think this one's going to be wrapped up by the end of 3 like it usually is.
Yeah. What number do you put on it?
Out of 10, I'll give that like a 2.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And you, by the way, your score, you had 20.
If you had said they'll lose, I'd be way higher. But not winning by 2 scores is like probably not.
Yeah. You picked 20-10 for the record, so you did have 2 scores, but you think it's going to be a close game for sure.
Yeah, I think that'll be 13-10 going in the fourth quarter. All right. Well, my last one that I really liked, because my 5th one is like Chris Cole is going to be a beast, and I don't think that's like yes, he will. But my other one, it's also defensive personnel related, and that is that Ja'Cory Thomas will start for like the whole year. I think Ja'Cory Thomas is the new Dan Jackson in this defense. He might not have the lore and like the cult following that Dan Jackson had last year, and the story of like,
The
oh,
story, yeah.
grew up a huge Georgia fan, and now he's living on his dreams every game day. He's a walk on. But Ja'Cory Thomas is a dog through and through, and he looked pretty good last year. He made a couple spot starts throughout the season. I think he recorded like 3 starts. Looked really good against Clemson, especially.
See, I was thinking the Clemson was the one he got taken out early because I didn't think he looked good in that one.
Dude,
That's how I remembered it. But maybe it's just because KJ Bolden is better.
Okay, yeah, Bolden did end up overtaking it, but dude, I swear he had a couple really sick PBUs in that game. There was one pass
because Bolden played. I remember that stat that Bolden played the most snaps, I think, on the whole team in the first game.
He did. So maybe I am just misremembering that he did not have some great game against Clemson and that he got like benched or something. But the reason I think Ja'Cory Thomas is going to be a pretty important player is just because, like, yes, Georgia has, their phenom at that position coming back in Bolden. And Bolden, if he's nearly as good as we expect him to be, he should be in All-American conversations. But safety is just a position I feel like you need experience there so badly, and behind Bolden, it's 3 transfers battling for that other spot. And I think that's where Thomas has the advantage. It's just he's been here. He knows the checks. He's been under Schumann's system. This is like his 4th year with the program or something like that. And I think we saw it with Dan Jackson last year. There were probably more athletic, enticing options at that safety spot, but Dan Jackson played out there so much partly because I think he was just such a steady presence on the back end. And I think that's what Ja'Cory Thomas is going to be. I think everyone's already kind of jumping the gun, talking about Zion Branch and Jaden Harris and Maddox and anyone else who could break through in the defensive backfield. But I think people are really sleeping on Thomas.
Yeah, I would say that is a bold prediction. I would probably put that around like a 7 or so, just because they went out and got 3 transfers. It feels like they got 3 transfers because like Ja'Cory Thomas is next. I don't know. We might need to get extra help. So that's just kind of reading the tea leaves, like you said, like the practice notes and things like that. Like, I mean, he's right there in the competition, and I think he started the most recent scrimmage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he could definitely be that guy. I think Chris Smith was another one of those guys that, Chris Smith starting? I don't know. This guy's been around for a while, hasn't played much, and he's just a stud for 2 years. So Ja'Cory Thomas could be just like the next Chris Smith or something. Not putting that high of praise on him or anything, but it wouldn't be the most shocking thing, being in Kirby's system for several years and then being ready when your number is called.
Yeah, I just think Kirby is super, super hard on his safeties, and he asks a lot of them. And I think that any of like the brain farts that can come with not being in the system for as long, that Kirby Smart is sure to just get super pissed about. I think you're less likely to have those with Thomas.